My name is Bridgitte. Today we have pick a card readings. We have group 1, group 2, and group 3. I have already shuffled them out. I don't know what they are. Some of them did face up, but I intentionally didn't look at them. Some of them I did see what it was, but I don't know if I don't remember what ones they were in because a lot of them didn't turn up. I noticed that pile 2 did turn up though, all of them did. So I'm sure that's a message all by itself. But let's see. So if you need more time to be able to see what pile resonates with you, then please pause now. Otherwise, let's get started. So group 3, you go over here. Group 2, you go over here. Let's get them right out of the way so I can't even see them when I'm looking anywhere. All right, and group 1, no, group 3, you're in my way. Group 2, you're in my way. Let me move them. Group 3, group 2. That's better. All right, so welcome, group 1. Nice to meet you. So, what came out for you? Let's see. These ones were face down. I haven't checked them to know what they are. These ones are all closed, so we don't know what they are either. So what we can see is the 5 of hearts, and we can see a chime. I got a chime out for each of the piles, and this is the one that came out for your pile, the heart, which is nice because it sits right on top of the hearts. Let's put it that way so it it looks nice. There we go. Right, so the 5 of hearts is a message around balance within relationships. What it shows me is that you're struggling a bit within relationships, that there is, oh, this is an 8 as well. Ooh. Okay. 5 is all about balance, and it's all about bringing yourself to a place of gratitude over lack. That's the way out of the imbalance of 5, to focus on gratitude, not lack. But your message is speaking really clearly. It's like it showed me the 8, and then it was like, okay, all right. So what's happening with you is that I'll do it both ways. If you're not in a relationship and if you are in a relationship, or if you were, I'll give you some examples. So let's say you're in a relationship. Let's say you were in a relationship and you have been asking for, let's say somebody that you can be yourself with, that you don't have to think with, that there's no judgment. It's just a really easy relationship. And you already have a partner, but this partner is not giving you what you're wanting. There would have been some frustration around this person not giving you what you wanted. It's like you've asked for this thing a lot. You've wanted to have relationships like this a lot. You've put a lot of energy into creating relationships that are different. So within the relationship, this person that you are wanting all of these things from, I'll put that in a circle, all of these things from, this person sometimes is not able to give you that. So if this person cannot give you what you have been asking for, what I've discovered on my own path is that this gets let go of. The universe takes it out of your life, which is the 8, universally inspired changes. The universe is creating this person to go out, and it's something that will kind of be an easy thing, that it happened. It was like, how did that happen? What happened? And they go out. But what happens is when they go out, we being here, wanting all of these things, we're like, Yeah, but maybe I didn't give them enough time. Maybe they'll change. Maybe I just love them and I want to be with them and I really want to be with them and that's the one I want. That's the one I want. Although this is not the one that could give you what you wanted. This one has come out to allow the one that you want in. And that needs space. So in this scenario, the 5 is find your balance around this person needing to leave to be able to bring in the manifestation of what you want. The 8 is always the manifestation. So in all of the examples, it's going to be the manifestation. In all of the examples, the 5 is going to be the balance around it. But within different situations, it's different, no? So that you have to find a balance around this person that you believe yourself to love and you want to spend your life with this person, even though you know this person cannot give you what you need to grow, to move forward. They're not bringing anything that you need into your life. So that person will go and a new one will come in. That's one example. Another example, if you're single, and you have been wanting to have a relationship, you have put a lot of energy into focused on relationships. When we want a relationship, that's what we're focused on. So the energy can be going out to have this relationship. But up before the 8 is a 7, no? So the 7 is the work that you're putting in to create this manifestation. So the work could be you go out on dates, you meet people, you're open to talking to new people, whatever it is. It's just interacting to create that possibility. No, you go to classes, you whatever. However, when we build it, there's so many possibilities of meeting someone. So the 7 is that you do the work to be able to create the space to meet somebody. But what happens with the 7 is if you're putting all the work in, which is the perseverance, the message for the 7 is perseverance and patience. If you're putting all the work in, but you're not trusting in the work that you're putting in, or you're not trusting that the thing that you have asked for is yours already, then you're going to be putting all this work in to create something, but you're not necessarily believing that it's created. So you get to the 8 and there's this kind of resistance to receiving because there's this imbalance, the number 5, of whether you're able to receive it, whether you're meant to be receiving something. It's like, if you're wanting somebody to come into your life because you're single, let's explain. Let's explore a bit more. Some of the emotions could be, I feel really lonely though, and I really want somebody to share my life with. So if the whole focus is focused on, I'm lonely and I don't have somebody, that's low vibration. That's not, with the idea that you do have somebody, that they may not be in your physical world at the moment, but there is somebody out there that is coming towards you. There is somebody out there that the universe is bringing to you. There is somebody out there that is specifically for you and will create you'll create amazing life with. That doesn't feel the same as, but they're not there and where are they? They haven't come yet. So it's bringing the balance around that. The gratitude of relationships you've already had. The gratitude of how beautiful relationships feel. And sometimes we don't necessarily have beautiful relationships, but you can have moments of beautiful relationships. You can have moments of a beautiful thing, a beautiful feeling. So if you don't have the person, it's not that because I don't have the person, I don't know how that feels. Yes, most people can connect to the feeling of love because they've felt it at some point from somebody. Doesn't even have to be from your family or friends. It might have just been a stranger that passed you and gave you this amazing message and you just felt this overwhelming love. It doesn't matter where this feeling come from. Doesn't matter. Connecting to that feeling of being loved and feeling loved will bring that manifestation to you. But if you're seeing it as, but I don't have them and they're not there and when are they coming, where are they? then that is in resistance towards it because there is no trust of it being there already. It could be that you're in a relationship already. And if you're in a relationship already, then it could be that the relationship is changing. So for example, this is hearts. It could be you're having a child, although I consider that diamonds as well. It could be you're changing. It could be you're having a child. It could be getting married. Relationships kind of spread over every area, don't they? But they in another example, there could be something happening with you within a relationship. So let's say you had decided to get married. This could be that you've made a decision to get married, and after that decision, you're now imbalanced around that decision and you're worried about it or all that could be. So the 8 is kind of your destination, but you're being asked to get that balance on your way to the destination, because otherwise it becomes difficult, because you get to the 6. 6 is planting seeds of expansion of what it is that you're creating. So you're getting married. Okay, what do I want to look like? How will I have my hair? Where will we live? I mean, the questions you can ask yourself could go on and on and on in positive, or you could do them in negative, but in negative it pulls you down. That's why you're being asked to balance. From the 6 you go to the 7, the work, the planning. This is just an example of a wedding, okay? The planning, the organizing everything, the dates, the getting flowers and the dress and whatever it is that you need to organize, that out of balance will feel like a lot of hard work. It will feel like a lot of stress. You'll feel a lot of frustration. It will feel like things are not happening for you. You want a particular date, but no one's available on that particular date. You want this dress, but this particular dress doesn't fit and they can't adjust it. It's kind of like that. It's like the more you flow, the more in balance you are with what is going on around you with this 8, because an 8 is a change, and it's a drastic change. It's not always an easy change, but it is a change that in hindsight, you're going to look at and always smile about. It will always make you feel good. So that's the 5 and the 8 that has been screaming aloud. So let's see what these ones are saying. We got 4 here as well, which was the decision that I was talking about. So you've taken a decision which has led you to the 5, which is an imbalance. But as you walk forward to get to that 8, there has to be a balance, focusing on the gratitude over the lack. So the King of Clubs. The clubs for me is a message around personal growth. And the King is a message of inner wisdom. So, the King, the King is somebody that hides a bit. Is somebody that doesn't necessarily trust their intuition, because there's lots of reasons that it could have happened, but some of them could be you were raised in a religious environment that didn't like you using your intuition, weren't comfortable with you using your intuition. Like, for example, one night you say, Mummy, I saw, or one morning, Mummy, I saw Grandma last night and Grandma died last night. Your family could react to that in a way of, what's he talking about? And be fearful of that. But for you, that's just the way you are. You are not necessarily that you saw your gran, it was just an example, but you're very intuitive. The King is somebody that has been around for a very long time, somebody that has a lot of wisdom and that has the ability to share this wisdom, because you've had so many vast experiences, that you have a lot of understanding about life. And within that understanding, you're able to explain yourself or to express yourself in a very clear and concise way because you understand yourself. So the king is about you sharing. Sharing your inner wisdom. The king for me is a light worker as well. Let's see what your other cards say, because at the moment the king is like, why are you here? What is this about? How do you? Yeah, let's see. All right. We have the red scroll, cutting cords to the past. This card is so popular. Doesn't stop coming out. Cutting cords to the past is all about letting go of what has been. Okay, so let's say, I get the king now. Let's say, like I said, there's a lot of examples for the king. So let's say you were growing up, you had a religious family. They didn't like hearing about your intuition. But let's say, for example, you're generally quite empathetic. What's the word? Empathetic. You have a lot of empathy. I don't know how to say it. You have a lot of empathy. And you say to your mum one day, Mummy, you feel really sad today. Are you okay? And your mum says, of course I'm okay. I'm happy. Why are you asking me that? There's nothing wrong at all. What you felt was what you felt. When somebody contradicts what you're feeling and they make it that what you're feeling is not a truth, it makes you feel like what you feel is not a truth. What you feel is the wrong thing. You learn to not trust your own feelings because other people have generally lied about theirs. So the king, although it has all of this empathy and wisdom around how people feel, it doesn't necessarily use its tools. You don't necessarily use the tools that you have because of the way people responded to your tool. In regards to the 5 and the 8, this is like the 8 requires you to trust. It requires you to go through the 7, which is the work, the perseverance and patience, trusting in what you're doing, trusting in your inspiration, the 4, taking action from that inspiration. That action could have been to leave somebody. It could have been to decide to get with somebody, to say yes to somebody, to break up with somebody. That decision, is created. That 8. That 8 is something that's coming into your world. But with the king, it's like you're not necessarily trusting that it's coming into the world because you're not necessarily trusting your own intuition around this thing. That's coming from your past. Cutting cords to the past is all about your past. It's the number 9 for me, which is quite interesting because the king for me is a 1. And then we've got 1, 9. Oh, 19, nice. So it's like the end and the beginning, or the beginning and the end. So I feel like what's happening with you is, because we've got 8, 9, 1. I'm going to switch them. 8, 9, 1. So it's like, okay, you've got the 8 that the manifestation is coming. You've got the 9 that this is opportunities that come. So I'm going to go back to an example. Let's say the example is that you are getting married to somebody, or let's go back a little bit within a relationship. You met somebody with the 4, you gave them your number, or they gave you their number, whatever way. It is an example, guys. You met somebody, balance around meeting this person because it feels a bit exciting. It feels a bit exciting. And then you get to the 8, which is they ask you out, you become a couple, which takes you to the 9 of the opportunities that are presented to you at that time. This could be meeting the person's friends, meeting their parents, going out to different places together, getting to know each other more. It's different, no? Once you're actually decided to commit to each other, it changes. So that is about the opportunities that are coming. But if this is on the contrast of the opportunities is trauma. So yes, you could be in this relationship. Again, this is an example. You could be in this relationship, agree to this relationship, but that doesn't mean that you walk into it with your heart open and your trauma bag down. And you walk into it with this big open heart of, let's see what happens. Let me trust in what I feel. Let me continue to grow from this and expand and understand this person and grow with this person, see how it goes. This 9 could be, I'm scared. I like my space. I like being by myself. I prefer to be independent. I don't want to let them get too close to me because they can hurt me. They can cheat me. They could lie to me. They could. But if you keep thinking in that way of they could lie, cheat, be dishonest, not be committed, and all of this, then the likelihood is that will be the result of that, because that is the energy that's being sent out. It's at that frequency. Whereas this has the opportunity to be an opportunity of this new thing coming in, you going ahead with this new thing, trusting in this new thing, not trusting that everything's always going to be all right, not trusting that you're going to live happily ever after with this person, but trusting in that this person has something to offer you, and this person, whatever it is that they're offering you, you are going to grow from, and that is an advantage to you, not a disadvantage. So there is no kind of, you can get lost in, yeah, but I've been hurt before and it didn't feel nice. You can go to that place, but that place is never going to help you move into the one being able to share. Because like I said, the 9 is kind of withdrawn in negatives, and it leads to the 1, which means that you're then hiding because you're withdrawn. Or you can open yourself up, let down the trauma, so you can open your heart when you get to the 1. You're able to share what it is that you have, which is your heart, because we're seeing the heart everywhere. So yeah, it's something like this. It doesn't have to be that you've just met somebody. It doesn't have to be that. It could be that you've been going out for a while. The 8 is just that this is a significant change to your relationship. Ooh, so we have the name Roger. The name Roger for me means a change of location, a change of climate. So this shows me that you're moving. And it's not just that you're moving to, like, let's say, like I live in Spain. I live in the north of Spain. If I move to the south of Spain, I am I'm not losing. I am changing location. I'm still in Spain, but I'm changing the location within Spain. But I am also changing climate, because the north of Spain is definitely not the same climate as the south of Spain. It's a lot hotter south. So this is not necessarily about you changing countries, but there is definitely a difference in the climate of where you're moving to than where you are at the moment. And it's not that there's anybody called Roger or that you know anybody called Roger. It's literally, that's what Roger represents for me. It's a keyword for change of climate, change of location. So that's exciting. Maybe that's what this 8 is. Maybe it's just all about you. I'll give you another example. Maybe it's just all about you, and you've decided to give yourself self-love now. And you've decided to remove yourself from people that were no longer feeling good. So you've decided to move away, which would be the 8, that you move away. This is a change, that you move away. You're letting go, cutting cords to the people of your past for you to be able to walk into your amazing future. This is really nice. Whoa. It could be that. Because the 5, the hearts, are about a relationship with yourself, a partner, family, friends, colleagues. It could be that you're traveling for work, but maybe your work has been, you haven't been treated very well at work and you're nervous about taking that move that they've offered, because maybe they won't treat you well, and then what will happen there, because you'll be by yourself in this new place and there could be all these worries. But this is like, it's moving you in a really beautiful way, and it's trusting in the move that's being created for you. We have the name Ron, which represents Alzheimer's or dementia. So I'd say that if you have someone, generally the names for me, I see it as a message from spirit. So I would feel with the Ron that there is somebody around you in spirit that passed from having Alzheimer's or dementia. But when I opened it and I read it, I didn't really get that feeling. It could be that, but it kind of expanded for me, as messages do. And it was that maybe you have somebody in your life, in your physical world now, and you are being helped in this situation. Don't feel alone in this situation. Know that you have the support of the universe on your side. The Northern Timber Wharf. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. I love that, because sorry, I'd been talking about the red squirrel and the cutting the cords to the past, the 9 being feeling withdrawn and hiding, or you open yourself up and share and put yourself out there. I mean, come on now. Put yourself out there. It's being seen. It's being seen. Share what it is that you have to share without fear of what it is that you're sharing. Trust in what you have to share. Don't let old opinions that people have passed on to you and old beliefs or ideas of self stop you from doing this, because this is, for me, the king is a light worker. It's somebody that was sent here to be able to share their wisdom, to help other people connect to their authenticity, to their light, to their soul self rather than the ego self. And you have had a lot of experiences in ego self, because you do have the king. You've had a lot of lifetimes. And you do have the 9. This red squirrel for me is a 9, which is the trauma bag that we can carry around on our back. When somebody's walking around with these 2 things, you've had so many experiences that you have so much knowledge and understanding of life. That is what you're being asked to share. Exactly. Put yourself out there, yeah? Put yourself out there. Actually, a change of location and climate change is putting yourself out there as well, isn't it? Because it's getting out. It's actually getting out. There's a lot of this message for you. Cutting cords to the past is getting out, letting go. Let it all out. Let it all out. Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of worry that happens within you of should I? Not necessarily should I. Am I good enough? Can I do this? Do I know enough? Am I nice enough? Am I kind enough? Do I know enough? Am I clever enough? What will people think of me? What if they don't trust me? What if they don't believe me? And it's like, it's just holding you in place. Oh, beautiful. I'd spoken about weddings as well. We have, it says wedding ring. You wear something of sentimental value. Yeah, there's somebody definitely with you. The wedding ring for me, it's not necessarily a wedding ring, but there is something that you wear that is of sentimental value to somebody that's passed. That person that's passed is showing themselves in that message. I also feel that this, because I did mention it earlier as well, that it could be a wedding. It could be a child. It could be a wedding. But I do feel like this is also a commitment to self, because a wedding ring is a commitment, and you wear something of sentimental value. That's you wearing something on yourself. That's a commitment to self. And I feel that that's what this is for you. You are manifesting amazingness and beautiful relationships. Your world is it's like spiraling at the moment. It literally is spiraling. It feels like it's moving extremely fast for you. And it's about you putting yourself in that balance, which is where we started, to be able to go through this very fast moving spiral, to be able to come out the other side feeling okay. Exactly. The Yeti fantasy world. Exactly. This is so beautiful, because fantasy world, it's like, I've said it so many times throughout this reading, there are different ways of viewing how you view your world. And you can view your world as, this isn't working for me, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, and I can't share this, and how will people receive me, and how and all the worries. And you could go through it with, this is an amazing opportunity for me to be able to really share with people what I experienced, or how I feel, and or what I've learned, to be really able to help people understand different things about life. Fantasy world is you get into that opportunity. Well, number one, knowing that the 8 is for you, not to you, but for you, this big change that's happening. The number 9, that opportunities are coming out from this, which is the fantasy. It's not even that it's a fantasy, it's a truth. It's just that we don't always believe it. But the fantasy world is asking you to believe it. Put that fantasy, use your imagination, and create what it is that you're wanting to come out into your world. Because this is 9 and 1. You're in that moment of letting go of the old leaves from the old version of self, moving into a newer version of self that is more open to standing as the empathetic self. I'm not sure that's how you say it, but you know what I mean. As the wise self, as the sharing self, as the one that is committed to self. It's like, it's just screaming. It's so strong, the energy of this reading. As I'm saying it, the time, you can look at it. Well, it might be different, because once I break it up, it might show differently. But anyway, the time at that time was free, 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 free. Authentic to self. Taking actions authentic to self. The seeds, and nurturing the seeds of what you're growing. There's the 3, the 6, the 9. Letting go of the trauma to bring us back to the 3 again. Being authentic to self so that you're able to be this person. This is what I wish you a lot of. I don't wish you luck, because you don't need luck. I don't think anybody needs luck. What this is just an acceptance of what is going on around you, an allowance of what is going on around you, and a surrender of what is going on around you, so that you can get to that next point. This isn't about you forcing anything or fighting anything. It's really about you surrendering to what you're experiencing, because this is something that is moving you far. And I don't mean because it says location or a change of climate. I don't mean far in distance. I mean far energetically within yourself. You are lifting your vibration astronomically at this moment. And the more you move towards your king self in balance, the more power you have and the easier you flow through this. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Thank you for allowing me to read. I've taken so long to do this reading. It was so nice. I didn't want to stop. Thank you, group 1. Very beautiful energy. I hope this helps. Hope it makes sense to you. And that it brings some clarity for where you are and what you're experiencing. And I look forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful day. If you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed already, please do so if you feel inclined to do so. It's much appreciated, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Right. Let me drink a little bit of water. Water. All right, group 2. Welcome. So your message was really interesting because before I'd done anything, well, not before I'd done anything, as I was shuffling the cards, only one of the first pile's cards faced upwards. Everything else was facing down. I couldn't see anything. But when I shuffled yours, everything came out that I could see. These are the only things I can't see. I don't know what they say. But everything came out facing up, which I found like, wow. So you have a lot of these animal cards. A lot of the animal cards. Let's see. Can't really see, can you? Let's see. So I pulled a chime for each pile. The pile that came out for you, group 2, is the 4-leaf clover. The 4-leaf clover, I have to say, with the goldfish. The goldfish, the world is your oyster, is the message for the goldfish. The goldfish for me is about fertility. It's about expansion. It's about growth. It's about bringing things into the world. It's about creativity. And then we've got this, which is full of orange, which is all about creativity. And when we've got the baboon, which is express yourself. And then we've got the 6, which is all about expansion, growth, planting seeds and nurturing them seeds to grow. So you're reading at this moment without really going in depth, just kind of skimming across the top of them. It's like, wow, I don't know what you've got going, but I can tell that this is something mega. There's something big going on here. Very big going on here. Let me open these ones to see what they're saying as well. Usually I just start with what we've got because we've got so many here. But let's see what they're saying as well. And we can incorporate it all together. I should have said this. Was it this? It was this group. It was this group. There were certain things that came to me as I was shuffling for each group. And I was like, I need to write them down, the things that I'm feeling at the beginning. But I didn't. So for your group, I was like, they're fire. They're like a fire. You felt like me. Fire. And Yeah, the last group was a different feeling, but yours was definitely fire, and that's what I kept seeing, fire. And then this just reminded me of the fire. So thank you for this reminder for myself. We have fire, shine bright. Shine bright. This is kind of like fire as well, isn't it? With all of this. The yellow, the orange. The hippopotamus, lessons of life. And we have the proboscis monkey, working against yourself. All right. I'm not sure you can see them, but I'll put them there anyway. All right, so let's go through this. We have the Ace of Hearts. The Ace of Hearts shows me that the Ace is a message of take a breath. It shows me that around relationship, something is changing for you. There is the Ace for me it's like a rebirth. It's a new version of self that's coming through. And this new version of self is more loving towards self. 3 for me is about the authentic self. So I feel that for you, this Ace is around you becoming more authentic to self. You becoming somebody that is more open to being or moving towards who you are changing into, and not holding on to who you have been, terrified that you've got to go somewhere else. You're like holding on for dear life, that I have to be here, I have to be here, this is who I am, this is who I am. This is about you moving beyond that and moving into a new version of self. Is very nice. A new version of self that is empowered, that is authentic to self, that has the inner strength. The 3 is somebody that is complete. And I love your cards because they're like screaming as well. Number 1 was screaming as well, but a completely different message. Well, not completely, but let's see. So here you have the Ace, you have the 2, and you have 3, because there were 3 hearts on this. So it's like the Ace is the rebirth of this new version of self. It's your ego. The 1 for me is always ego. So whether it's the Ace, the 10, the Jack, the Queen, the King, or the Joker, they're all the number 1. Number 1 is human self. As humans, that is what we see first. We don't, I mean, unless we're exposed to people talking about energy and our energy and us being energy, I don't know that a lot of people actually connect to that. So as humans, the Ace is the human self, our ego, the idea of self, the human self, the body. The 2 is a message of energetic self, consciousness, love, being part of everything, being at one with everything, having strong connections to source energy and feeling that love and connection to source energy, receiving messages, trusting in what the universe offers, trusting in the energy that you are, basically. And then we go to the 3, which is we are energetic self. The energetic self is what gives us inspiration as well. It's what helps us to expand. But the human self is the part that does all the physical work. It's the part that brings into the physical world the manifestation of what we have thought about. So when you've got the 1, 2, 3, it's like you're in this amazing place of you are quite comfortable, or you're becoming comfortable with your ego. The ego isn't something that you're looking at, I don't like this, I don't like that. You're learning to let go of the ideas of self. Not that there are no ideas and there's no old beliefs about self, but you're learning to let go of them because you're learning to love yourself. You've got the 2, that is diamonds as well, which is career and finance. But the 2 is about you connecting to your energetic self. And then the 3, all about you being complete because you are working from your ego and your energetic self, your soul. So it's really nice. And through this work that you're doing, you're shining. You are the fire. You are the sun. You are shining. You are inspiration to people. You are offering what they need to be able to heal, to feel that energy, because that's what the sun does. The sun shines on us and it feeds us with vitamin D and we feel so good. And that's what you're learning to do. Shine your lights as the sun does without needing to do anything. It doesn't have to, I'm the sun and I shine light on everybody and you need to respect me because this is what I do for you. It doesn't do any of that. It just does what it does. And we all appreciate, well, not all, but we all appreciate the light that the sun provides us with because it gives us life. That's what you're doing for people. It's not necessarily you're giving them life, but you are to a certain extent. You're offering your light, and your light is transmuting their light into a lighter energy. So you're helping people to feel better about themselves. You're helping people to feel more motivated, more inspired. You're helping people to look at themselves and to learn to love themselves. You're doing a lot for people. It's like, well done to you, because the 1 and 2 is not an easy place because there's a lot of work that has to go into looking at yourself in the ace, in the 1. There's a lot of work that needs to go into that. The ace is somebody that's really struggled with abandonment. And this is one of the things that you're working on letting go of. It's one of the things that would have held you back before. This idea of abandonment. But people can leave you and people have left you. And that's made you feel really withdrawn. It takes you to the 2. You feel really withdrawn and you've looked for that from other people to be able to give you that feeling of stability. But along the way, you've learned that, hold on a minute, this isn't really working. I mean, how many times am I going to look for stability outside of myself in all these people? And I keep losing it because, I mean, nothing lasts forever. So this is really looking at self and getting that stability within yourself, having that stability. This is a lot of work. Well done. Well done. Lessons of life, exactly. The hippopotamus is also very big and strong. It's forceful, no? So, and I feel that that's what you're becoming, strong and forceful through these lessons of life. I also feel that you've become an observer, very likely an observer of self with the ace. Because the hippopotamus, I was being shown it in the water with its eyes. It's like the water is like there, no? And you just see its eyes. And that's all you see, just his little eyes over the water. So I'm feeling like there's this idea of you kind of removing yourself so that you're not in the middle of everything. I feel this is what's helped you. You became the observer. You stopped putting yourself in things and put yourself in a position that you were observing. Rather than being observed, you became the observer. And you're observing self, you're observing the things around you, and you've got this, you've been able to see yourself. Yeah. Wow. The 2 also has 6 diamonds on it. And right next to the goldfish, like I said, the 6 is about planting seeds. The goldfish is the world is your oyster. They are both about you going after what you want, seeing no limitations. The world is your oyster. There are no limitations in that. It's go after what you want, trust in what you're going after, and trust that you're good enough to receive it. Trust that even if it leaves you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're any less because it leaves. Whatever it is that you build and you grow, nurture it. Love it. You're very good at loving things. You're very good at loving your creations, because this is, I keep seeing the 3. So this goldfish could be talking about, it could be talking about a pregnancy that you have wanted to bring in into the world, a child. It could be that. But it could also be that you have this new project that you're working on, this new idea. It's something that you've not done before, and about you putting energy into that. Not energy of, I'm not supported, I'm not loved, because that's the lower vibration of the 2. I'm not supported, I'm not loved, I can't do this. Or the one that it's you're so in your head. What happens with the ace is sometimes we get so in our head that all we see is the problem, and that's all we can focus on, the problem. That brings us to the 2 in negative energy. It brings us to the 2 in a way of withdrawal. I don't feel supported, I don't feel loved, I don't feel that anybody's got my back, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to move forward. So you close yourself, you get to the oyster, and it's like you can't even see the pearl shining through the oyster, because the oyster has completely shut itself up so that nothing can get to it. But the ace is about coming to that clarity, letting go of the problem so that the problem has space and the solution's able to come to you. Because once you're focused on the problem, that's all you're going to see, problem. When you're focused on why you're doing it, the ace for me is a message of take a breath. It's giving yourself a moment to be still. Like, I always think of it as the sea. You could be in crystal clear water and your feet are still, you'll see everything. But if you start shaking your feet, it all becomes murky and you're not going to be able to see your feet. It's exactly the same thing with your mind. Your mind has the potential to be crystal clear in clarity. But if you keep going around the same things over and over and over and over again, then you're not giving it the space for that clarity, because you're dictating what it's thinking. You're not allowing that moment of clarity to come, like the stillness of the feet, to create that clarity. It's creating that stillness of the mind to have that clarity. There is the 3 here, and is the finding balance. Finding balance for me is the number 5. So with the 5, finding balance, and the number 3, I feel like a really good tool for you, because the 3 is somebody that's extremely creative, and then on this particular card, which is balance, is very orange, which is about creative. It's about being creative. So I feel like one of your biggest messages is, when you're in a very noisy place, not find, because you know what that thing is. Most people know what that thing is. There's something that we all can do. It's different for everybody, but there's something that we can all do that helps us to be able to be still. It could be drawing, rowing, exercising, painting, writing. It depends. Everybody's different. We all have our own thing that we do, but we all have something that we do that creates peace. It creates a space in your mind. And whatever that thing is for you, that you can sit down and it creates this space. Do more of that, because that's where you'll find your balance and inspiration will come in. The solutions will come to you in that space. But if you're not giving yourself that space, we've got the proboscis monkey, working against self. That's what you would be doing, working against self. It's not that life will look horrible, but it will feel like struggle. It will feel heavy, because the ace is a heavy place. It's a place of, there's such a transition going on that you don't necessarily know where you are. You're not who you've been. You're not who you're becoming yet. You're still becoming. We're always becoming, actually. I don't know that we ever become. We're always becoming. So this, if you're holding on to old ideas of who you were and you're holding on tight to that, that will be working against self. If you're worrying that it's all going to fall apart, or that you're not supported and you're not loved and you don't know how this is going to work, or you have thoughts of, yeah, but I always think of the 6 as a pole. Yeah, but it's not working, and I don't know the answer to the problem, and I don't know what I'm meant to be looking at. I'm just confused, and I don't know. Or you could have, I can give myself this moment and let me just relax for a moment. Let me just be still. Let me give myself what I need to be able to create that space of being still, so that I can allow it to come to me. Let me give myself what I need. Let me take them breaths that I need, so that I'm able to be in the best position for myself. But if you're not giving yourself this space or time, then the ace is anxiety. It will create anxiety. Like I said, you get to the 2, you feel like you're withdrawn, nobody loves you, nobody cares. They're not truths, they're just how you're viewing your world at that moment because of the frequency at which you're in. But I feel for you, you're doing a really good job, amazing job of lifting this energy. But if you do drop into this energy, remind yourself this is just a moment. It's just to remind me of where I've been, just to remind me I don't like it there, just to remind me that, okay, because I didn't like it there, I decided to put my energy into this. So yeah. Let me put my energy into this some more and let go of this. Then we have the baboon. Express yourself. This is like you. It's like a king or queen. It looks like royalty. It looks like royalty. The express yourself, the baboon. Express yourself kind of fits in with what I'm saying about the free and the creativity. I feel that that is a really big message for you in whatever it is that you do, and however it is that you express. Do more of it, because it will help you. I feel that that's the working against yourself. I feel that you don't necessarily always do something to help yourself, because there's a lot of ideas of, yeah, but what if it doesn't work, or what if, or but there's a problem with this, or there's a problem with that, and you're looking further ahead than the one step. There's just one step, and it's really taking that one step and then looking at the next step. But what can happen here is that you're at the bottom and you're wanting to get to the 5th step, and you don't know how the hell you're going to get to the 5th step, which makes sense, because how do you get to the 5th step from the bottom? It's like, no, you need another ladder to get onto that ladder to get to the 5th step. It's like an impossible, it feels like it's an impossible task. So one step at a time, that's just one movement, one thing, one moment to give yourself some space, one breath. It's like, give yourself what you need to bring yourself to your amazingness, to your light, to your fire, to the lessons that you've learned, and keep pushing yourself forward. Keep pushing yourself forward. This is really nice. Like I said from the beginning, I feel like you've done an amazing job. You are really working hard on letting go of this abandonment issue. And you're doing a really good job of it, because everything about your reading is showing just how expansive you are as a person and how much more willing you are to be authentic to self than you've ever been before, which is bringing this feeling of, it might not at this moment, but it will bring a feeling of feeling that bit more complete. The more you work from the free, the authentic self, the more you feel complete. It's when you're working from all the other places, that's when we don't necessarily feel complete, because we're looking for something else to make us feel complete, rather than having that feeling, being that feeling, knowing that feeling, and sitting in that feeling without anything external giving you that feeling. That's where you're working from, where you're learning to work from, lessons of life. And it's a really beautiful place. You've done a lot of work, and congratulations for the work that you've done, because this is really, really, really impressive. It really is. Well done. Well done, you, group 2. Group 2, I hope this resonates with you and makes sense. I hope that it brings some insights into where you are, or some tools of how to come out of where you are. And that you continue to grow on your journey and do the amazing job that you're doing, and I'm sure you will. So, group 2, if you liked the video, please like, subscribe, share, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye. Right, let me drink another bit of water. Group 3. Let's get your cards. Group 3. Group 3, when I was shuffling the cards for your group, I had this really interesting feeling. I get this feeling for myself, but I've not felt it for somebody else before. And as a collective, it was even weirder. But the feeling is, it's like, how do I explain it? So we all breathe. You know, we're breathing. We're alive. We're breathing. But there's certain times that I'm breathing if you haven't experienced this, I don't know that you'll understand what I'm saying, but if you have experienced this, you'll understand what I'm saying. And I feel like for this group, a lot of you will understand what I'm saying. And not necessarily in the words I'm using, but a feeling. So bear with me while I'm trying to figure out how to present this feeling. So sometimes when I was shuffling the cards, I'll just explain what happened. I was shuffling the cards and I can feel myself breathing. But at some point, I was no longer the breath. I didn't feel the need for the breath. My body needed to breathe, but I was no longer my body. I was aside from my body. That's the best way for me to be able to explain it. And it's not that I feel like my body has disappeared or anything like that, because the body's still there. It's just that I'm not the body. That's the only way I know how to explain it, because I'm not sure, because it's a feeling, and feelings are sometimes quite difficult to explain. So that's the best way for me to explain it. And what does this tell me? What it shows me is that you're somebody that has a very high level of understanding of self, very high level of understanding energy, your energetic self. And you're likely to be, although I don't experience this, but it makes me think of people that experience things like this, astro travel, and people that have very vivid dreams. I don't know, these types of ways of connecting that are very strong. They're very visual. Yeah, I feel that you have an extremely deep connection to source energy. Right, so let's see what come out for you. We have, I've not looked at any of the cards. One of them did come up face up, and I just saw it now, so I know what it is now, but I don't know what anything else is. We have, I pulled some chimes for each of the groups. We have the champagne glass for you. Woo-hoo! Celebrate good times. Come on. Yoo-hoo! All right, group 3. You've got me excited, yeah? With this high vibration that you have. Let's see what we have. So we have the 6 of clubs. The 6 of clubs is a message around planting seeds. This is personal growth. So this is going to be one of them things that you are learning how to do. It's not something that you're necessarily naturally good at. It's something that you are having to put energy and effort into becoming better at. So the 6 is planting seeds. I think of the 6 as a pole. I kind of think of all the numbers as a pole, actually, but there's contrast, because we live in contrast. So we have negatives and positives. They are perception, they are subjective, but we all have the idea of positive and negative. So the 6 is, let's say, this is personal growth. So let's say for yourself, because it is around personal growth, so I want to keep it within personal growth. Let's say you've been studying, and you can go to, I really enjoy studying, I really enjoy growing. Sometimes it's a bit challenging and I just don't know what I'm doing, but I really enjoy them moments, because them moments I learn the most. They're a bit more difficult to learn from, but I learn a lot from them moments, and they bring me so much insights. I'm able to put so much love into them moments and expansion, and they help me to grow in all of these kind of different ways. And I just love nurturing growth and myself, and lifting myself up and giving myself what I need to be able to continue to thrive and strive and grow to where I'm wanting to be. Or we can look at it as, it don't matter what I do, I just don't get anywhere. It don't matter what I do, I always end up in the same place. It's like I can put all of my hard work into this, and I still know that I'm going to end up nowhere. So I don't even see the point of doing this. What is the point? It is like useless. That's like pouring a whole load of weed killer on your seed, or planting the seed, even worse, planting the seed in infertile soil, unfertile soil, whatever way round it is. This one is thriving because it's receiving, it's been planted in fertile soil, and it's receiving nurture to be able to keep it growing, expanding. The nurture is your focus and how you're focused on it. This one has been planted in unfertile soil because at the moment that you actually thought of it, it was in negatives. and then on top of planting it in negatives, you're continuing to talk about it in negatives that will continue to make you see it in negatives. So after the six, sorry, comes the seven. So you're talking to yourself in whichever way you're talking to yourself, from negatives and positives. So you have this seed that's been planted. It takes you to the seven. The seven is the work that you put in. But if you're not trusting that the seed is even going to grow, the work that you put into it is not going to be with motivation. You're not going to feel inspired. You're not going to feel committed, or that it's even worth doing, because you don't believe in it being able to grow. But here, you believe in everything that you've done. You're believing in the commitment that you're doing, the commitment to, my example was studying, though. So your commitment to studying, your commitment to self, your commitment to your growth. You're interested in all of that. So the seven is you doing the work, you studying, you being open to studying, you being open to doing the exams and trusting in the process, not allowing the process to overcome you, but you being in control of the process because you're in control of you. Which brings you to the 8, the manifestation. From you planting the seeds, you doing the work, you get the manifestation. But on this side, what will come is the lack of the manifestation. All of what you've been seeing. I'm not good enough at this, I'm not good enough at that, I can't do this, I can't do that. So the 6 is all about how you perceive your words, something that you're likely to use, because this is also the 10. There's 10 clubs on the card. But what if? The 10 is all about what ifs. But what if I'm not good enough? What if it doesn't work? What if I fail? What if I'm rejected? What if I'm just not good enough? What if, well, there's so many what ifs, they can be endless. But there's also, what if I pass? What if this becomes an amazing platform for me to be able to help so many other people? What if this is exactly what I'm meant to be doing at this moment and it brings me so much joy? What if this takes me to my passion? What if, there's so many what ifs in positive as well, but what you have had a tendency of doing is doing the what ifs in negative, doing the pole in negative. But we are celebrating here. We are celebrating here, because the high energy that I felt when I was shuffling these cards, I do feel that you have done an infinite, because there's no limitation here, infinite work to create something different for your 6. And the 6 is about how you're talking to yourself to be able to produce the things that you're wanting to bring into the world. The 2 is a message of love is all around. What happens with the 2 is heart. So this is with yourself, a partner, family, friends, colleagues. The 2 is a message of love is all around. The feeling of the 2 is generally in low vibration, depression, is somebody that doesn't feel loved or supported, feels lonely. In high vibration, the 2 is somebody like you. It's somebody that's extremely connected to source energy. It's somebody that sees the signs and synchronicities, that kind of listens to the language of the universe. That's really what it is. Because, I mean, signs and synchronicities, that's what they are. The universe speaking. And you are now listening to the universe. I feel that you've taken an action from listening to the universe towards self. Maybe giving self maybe that's something that you've been nurturing in self, that you have been putting the energy into, loving yourself, supporting yourself, giving yourself, not just loving yourself, but can also connecting to the love of the universe, your energetic self, not just to your human self. Oh, I love my hair. I love whatever. I love this about myself. I love that about me. It's not really about that. The two is not the ego self, it's the energetic self. So it's about you now connecting to that part of yourself and becoming part of everything, which is maybe why this change is happening within you, for this lighter version of yourself. You're how do I express it? It's like when this kind of energy that I'm feeling, I don't feel it very often, this type of energy. Yeah, I don't, it's a really beautiful energy, but it's not an energy that I'm necessarily used to experiencing. I'm used to experiencing it in myself, but actually feeling other people that feel like this. Ooh, I like this, I like it. Yeah, feels so good, feels so good, feels so good. You see what I'm saying? I can't even stop. This is like a really uplifting energy. And the two is such a hard, it's a very hard experience, the two, because it is a very lonely, a very withdrawn energy. It's very depressed energy. So you bringing yourself out of this, it's like you deserve that celebration. You deserve a lot of celebrations to be getting to this point, that you are giving yourself the love that you need. You're connecting to the universal love that is all around you, that you are. And you are working on nurturing yourself. You're working on nurturing what you need to keep yourself in this amazingly connected, beautiful place. It's glorious. What's this about? And then we have, what's this about? What's going on here? We have the golden eagle, ready to explode. Oh, I know what this is about. I know what it's about. Ooh. Wow, ready to explode. Wow. Sorry, guys. I told you I was excited. I was excited about your one from when I shuffled. And after I'd shuffled yours, then I did reading 1, I did reading 2. And then when I sat with you, when I was drinking my water actually, between 2 and 3, I sat in the energy of this again. And as I was sitting in the energy, I was becoming more and more high. All right, this is showing me a lot of things. So, ready to explode. I've never read this in positive. I've never read it in positive, but for you, I'm reading it in positive. So thank you for creating the expansion of the cards. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to see this in a completely different way. It's beautiful. So ready to explode shows me that you have a mission. There is this kind of goal. There's this heart center that is full. And for you, this is full of love. They're ready to explode. Look what it's exploding. It's exploding all this green. And you know what green is? Green for me is the heart chakra. It is love. So I feel like for you, that what is happening is that you have been through some kind of transition, transformation. There's something that happens with your ego. They're ready to explode. I would normally read it as your emotions are taking the most of you and you're exploding. But I'm feeling like with this, that it could still be your emotions that are exploding, but I feel more that it's you have You're not allowing your emotions to dictate how you react. So I feel that because your emotions are not right in your face anymore, because that's where most people respond from or react from the emotion they're feeling in that instant. And ready to explode, it's like, let's say somebody says something to you didn't like, then you could attack them. But I feel like what this is that you've done the work on your ego, of understanding your ego. We're not doing the work on your ego, because your ego is not a bad thing. It's not that you have to work on your ego. It's that you have to work on understanding who we are. Energetic self and ego. We're not just one. We're the two that need to work together to come into unison. So for you, I feel like the ready to explode is that you have got to this place that you have been through this transition. You're understanding your ego a lot more. You're understanding that it is no longer in control of you. And you are kind of celebrating, ready to explode. I'm seeing it like a bottle being sprayed, you know, in Celebrate, especially in like Formula One, you see them open these champagne bottles and then and it goes everywhere. That's kind of how I'm seeing this ready to explode, that it is this moment of you being able to express yourself, being able to allow what is inside of you out in love, through love. I feel that you're coming from a place that you would have been extremely busy mentally, emotionally. It would have been a very hard place. You definitely would have suffered from depression, and your mindset would have definitely been on the negatives. I can't do this. There would have been a lot of I can't do this. There would have been a lot of that. But you are just I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but you have changed yourself. You have. This is the number 3. I felt the number 3 already. The number 3 is, everybody got number 3 today. That's really interesting. The number 3, I just mentioned the number 3. This one for me, I'm seeing it like the ego self. They're ready to explode. The human self. The number 2 for me, like I explained, is the energetic self. And the number 3 is bringing them two together, which is like what I said. Now, when you're reacting, you are working from the place of love, because you are working from human self and energetic self. You're not working from just human self. Human self, when it gets to number 3, human self, when it gets to number 2, if it's so lost in human self, as in the ideas and the beliefs, and it's so fixated on self, that's when the 2 will experience depression. It will experience a lot of blame towards other people. It definitely feels like a victim, and that this shouldn't have happened to me and that shouldn't have happened to me. These are the kind of emotions that the 2 experiences, with the 1 not being sorted out. And it leads to the 3, which means because you're so wrapped up in self that you get to the number 3 and there isn't no inspiration that's coming through you, because the 2 is missing. The 2 is your connection to source. It's where all of the genius comes. It's where the inspired thoughts come. It's where all the help comes. It's your soul, really. Your soul is connected to consciousness. It's your soul, and that's what you're not connecting to. That's what you hadn't been connecting to. But now, like I said, I feel that you're in unity. You're in unison. You are working from a place of love. You're more willing to be who you are, authentic to self. You're not as worried about how people perceive that version of yourself. You're allowing yourself to be creative. You're allowing yourself to question your beliefs. Question your ideas about self. 6 is a confirmation, yeah? Confirmation. Six is about you working from that place. Question yourself. Instead of the what if it doesn't work, what if I'm rejected? What if I fail? Because that is the 10. If I fail and I'm rejected. And the 2 will struggle with failure and rejection because, like I said, the 2 always feels alone, doesn't feel supported or loved in lower vibration. So if the 6 is, if you get to the 6, because all the numbers for me are always leading, they're always creating this spiral. So if you get to the 6 with a low vibrational 2, then that is, what if I fail? What if I'm rejected? And you already feel like that with the 2. So getting to the 6, it's just going to compound what you're already feeling, which is, yeah. So the 6 is really important. Bringing yourself to the what ifs, letting go of the idea of failing, letting go of the idea of being rejected, and trusting in what you are bringing into the world, because what you're bringing is so much love, so much love, so much inspiration. There's so much, 2 6s. I mean, come on, it's like so much growth, so much growth, expansion. Guys, I'm in love with this group. I loved all the readings, but this one, guys, I feel good. I knew that I would now. I feel good. I knew that I would now. So good. So good. I got you. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That's my favourite bit. I have to get to there. Right. We have the name Raymond. For me, it means a brother figure. Not that your brother is called Raymond or that you know someone called Raymond, but it's a key word for me that signifies brother figure. So I feel that you have somebody with you, especially with the 2. Let me actually leave it where I put it. You have someone with you on the other side that is helping you, that would have been like a brother figure to you. And that person wants you to know that they're there. They are loving you. They are helping you. They are celebrating with you. I feel good. I mean, what can I say? I've been saying it since I started. I've been saying it since I started. No, I definitely have. I definitely have. Shelley. Shelley is another name. It has nothing to do with you knowing somebody with that name. But the name Shelley means for me, verbalize your truths. I'm going to put that here because that's what the 3 is about. Being authentic to self. Unison. Energetic self and human self working together to be able to speak your truths, to be able to share that love, to shine, to allow it out in the most beautiful ways. Verbalize your truths. Yeah, we have rest. We'll come back to that. Rest. We have the name Tiffany, lack of self-esteem. Okay, so when you're before, and it still may come, I say before, but it doesn't mean that because you're putting energy into creating different dialogue within self that automatically we change. I mean, we can put a lot of energy and effort into it, but there's still old thoughts that will pop up and we just need to reconfirm the new thoughts. Lack of self-esteem is something where I feel that you're coming from. I already explained with the 2 and this one. They're really heavy energy. So lack of self-esteem makes a lot of sense. It also makes a lot of sense to the what ifs I was talking about. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't do this? It all makes sense. But the Tiffany, the lack of self-esteem, I feel that, not that you know somebody called Tiffany, all the names for me are just keywords for a message. So the rest, I feel, is bringing yourself to the balance. Before 6 is 5. 5 for me is the balance. When you balance yourself in the 5, sorry, I'm going to go back a little bit. You've got the 2 here. So let's say there was something that you're feeling a lack of support and a lack of love in. You've got the 4 here. There are 4 hearts on this card. The 4 is about you having taken an action. But many times when we don't have high self-esteem, we doubt the actions that we've taken. Maybe I was a bit too rash. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe maybe would have, could have, should have. There's a whole load of maybes that it can be. And through them maybes, it can pull you down. It can make you depressed. It can pull you down. So you went from the 4, having made this decision in authenticity and trust in yourself, but then when you don't see the results of the 4, then you can start doubting it, which means that you then start doubting yourself, which means that you start feeling that you're not supported and you're not loved because you're doubting yourself. It kind of brings you don't actually go backwards, but in energy, you're going lower. So this, with the what ifs, it shows me that there have been these doubts about self and what you're able to do, what you're able to create, what you're able to bring into the world. Again, I do feel like you're in a very good place, but the rest, after the 4 comes 5. The rest would be the 5. Give yourself the space you need. Focus on all that you're grateful for at the moment and work from that place of gratitude, and then get to the 6. Because when you're working from the place of gratitude, when you're on the 6, you're automatically already in positives, able to put that nurture into the 6. But when you're working through lack, so I made the decision, I'm not feeling particularly good, you're not putting yourself into balance, you get to the 6, everything will come in lack. When you've done the balance, everything will be in gratitude. So they're working from very different places, and only one of them will actually feel good. So I can see that you've done a lot of work on your self-esteem, and you're still being asked to do this work to promote yourself. We have the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. I am beautiful. I remember when I wrote this message, Staffordshire Bull Terrier, when I did a reading for somebody, that's what I saw in them, a Staffordshire Bull Terrier. Because I see animals in people. So I saw this Staffordshire Bull Terrier in this person, and I was like, yeah. And I'd known a few people with them, but I'd always been a bit scared of them. They kind of look like a little bit like a pit bull. They're quite strong and muscular. They're a bit scary. And they're not necessarily the biggest dog, but they're not small either. So I used to think of them as just being really scary. And then when I sat with the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, when I saw this Staffordshire Bull Terrier in somebody, at that point, I read general information on Wiki about the Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And I also just sit looking at a picture, watching videos of a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, because then you feel things, and that's what I did. And when I finished writing all of the information that I got from the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, it was like, wow, I want one. This is a really beautiful animal. It's an amazing dog. It's a very committed dog to its family. It's very loving and caring. It's very protective. It was just a beautiful dog. So I was like, wow. And that's why it's I am beautiful. Because you are beautiful. You offer the people around you a lot of strength, a lot of support, a lot of love, which is why maybe sometimes you feel a lack of it, because you give so much. And maybe sometimes the people around you are not the type of people that you are, that are able to give as much as you do. so you feel a lack of it. But you are it. You are that person that is able to give all of that, and you're well and truly on your way to just being that, encompassing all of that. Yeah, you got rest, you got water, cleanse, rejuvenate. It's like the 5 again, water. I with the 5, I would say get into nature. I'd say meditate, put yourself around water bodies, go by the sea, a lake, whatever. I'd also say do something creative, because you do have the 3 here, and this is a 5 for me. So do something creative. The creative, it doesn't have to be for anything. It's simply just to create space within your mind so that you're able to have that space to feel that connection fully. Because sometimes we do drop in vibration and we don't feel that connection as fully as we do. And there's things that are going on in our life and we're not feeling balanced around that. And this is kind of asking you, yes, you are doing an amazing job. You are doing a lot to change many things about yourself in this lifetime. And yes, you may have moments that you get low, but remind yourself to give yourself what you need to overcome these moments. And that is the rest and the water, the cleansing, rejuvenating, rest. Don't be on your phone as much if you're somebody that's on your phone, or watch as much TV, or spend as much time with other people. Give yourself that time to recharge, balance, sit with yourself, sit with your feelings and emotions, bring yourself back to the gratitude, bring yourself back to the love that you are, so that you again can continue on your spiral in the most beautiful way. And we have Robert, the name Robert. Robert for me means exercise more. It's going straight there. Yeah. There's something here. You're doing a really good job. I have to keep stating that, because I don't want you to feel that I'm telling you that you're not doing a good job, because you're doing an amazing job. Really amazing job. This little part here is just some ideas for you to be able to help yourself stay in this beautiful place. Yes, we do go up and down. We do have moments that are challenging, and we do have moments that are beautiful. But even in the challenges, they're beautiful because we're growing. We're experiencing something that is going to help us to expand, to be able to help us to understand more, to learn more. It helps in so many ways. So this little area here, for me, is about you giving that to you. You're doing a good job of giving yourself love and of converting the energy of what you've experienced so far, because you have experienced a lot of pain. So this letting go of it and moving into this new place, you are giving yourself, but you're not necessarily giving yourself as much space as you need. Maybe you feel, especially with lack of self-esteem, but it's not working, so I don't really understand why I'm even doing this. Or I do something and then I always feel like I've gone backwards because I do the same thing that I was doing all that time ago. And why am I not changing? You have changed. You have changed. You just need to believe that you've changed and give yourself the encouragement and what you need to be able to keep grounded, to be able to keep connected to the two. Because when you become ungrounded, what you're doing is you're going back to the two in a low vibration. You're going to the place of unloved, unsupported, and it will keep you moving through that spiral, getting back to the 6 of still feeling that it's not working for you. So this part of it is really important for you. This giving yourself the time and space that you need to be able to bring yourself back to balance so you can keep doing this important work that you're doing and shining your light on the whole world and changing the energy of us all with your super high vibes. Beautiful. Oh, group 3, thank you so much for this reading. It was absolutely wonderful. I have had an amazing time reading for you. If you liked, please Like, subscribe, share. I will be back soon. Take care of yourselves and well done you. Seriously, well done you. Bye.